Welcome to the RVA Returners Podcast, your weekly source for all things Final Fantasy TCG. Zach and Sam are playing in their event, I guess right now.
Yeah, I think it's happening. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Looks like 3 p.m. That's they're in Miami, right?
Yep.
Well, that's pretty cool. Well, hopefully Zach can bring it home. Speaking of bringing it home, boys, we are back for another episode of the RVA Returners Podcast. I think this is 25?
23.
23? Man, where am I at?
I don't know. A little bit ahead, I guess.
A little bit. I guess I'm getting excited for that 25th episode that's coming up. That'll probably be right before Nationals. But any old who. We'll get there when we get there. Don't want to put the cart before the horse. I'm your host, Chris Adams. With me, as always, my partner in crime, my better half, the qualified half, Adam Lane. So, got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about, competitive play. Nats is finally upon us. The LQ season is coming to a close. So, a lot of different things going on. We got people playing in LQs now. We played in one yesterday. But, we'll organize all of that into, specific thoughts. But you know how we like to get started around here. And we know what that is. It's the news. Wolf Blitzer. That's how I feel every time I do that. So, first bit of news. So, German Nationals was this past weekend as well.
Yep.
And that gave us our first taste. Our first taste of Opus 7 spoilers.
Yep.
It's huge.
Yeah, three cards.
3 cards, 3 different elements. And let's go ahead and go right into them. I guess we'll start with. I guess we'll just do them in order as they were revealed.
Yep.
So you want to go ahead and start off with the first one?
So the first one I think was Yule.
It was Yule, yeah.
I have it in front of you, but I think I remember all of them. It was 2 CP ice backup.
Yep.
1 ice tap break. Search your deck for a forward.
Yeah, it's 1 forward.
And put it as the second card in your deck.
Yep, it's worded exactly as ice tap, put Yule into the break zone, search for 1 forward, and put it under the top card of your deck.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think, I don't know how good it is yet, but it's really interesting. Like, no, I've never seen any card, even in card games that I've played, do anything like this.
Magic has some cards that do that. They'll force you to put a card like 3 from the top or 1 from the top, but like you don't see it's a weird effect you don't see often. So
I know I've seen some people are like, oh well, now I'm just going to do some stuff like Ephemeral Summoner, but I don't think that works because you're shuffling your deck again.
Exactly.
So that's not really something you can set up. However, you can set up like you're basically going to draw this card next turn, and you can also take a point of damage and draw this card next turn. So maybe there's an idea there. I think some people are going to come up with some cool stuff. I don't know how good she is yet, but I can see some ideas.
I think it's neat. Anytime there's manipulation of the order of your deck, even a card like Ephemeral Summoner, I can't say that word for some reason, but anytime you can manipulate the cards you're going to draw, that's never terrible.
Yeah. Also, she's a 2 CP backup. So.
Yeah. Which is fine. I know people are like, oh, she doesn't improve ice at the moment.
She probably doesn't. Not like your normal ice deck.
Yeah, I see her. I can see her like an Ice X kind of deck where you're. Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
I mean, maybe water.
Yeah, ice, water, ice, earth. I think something.
Maybe you do that, then you like Moogle or I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of things you could do.
Yeah, I think the setup there is kind of neat. Now, is the juice worth the squeeze? I guess is what we're gonna.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, she's a 2 CP backup, so those are always at least borderline playable.
Yeah, and she's a 13 card, I believe.
Yeah, she's 13.
Okay,
yeah,
maybe she'll see play in title. You never know. But also, speaking of 2 CP backups, that leads to the next one. I'm actually a huge fan of this one. This is it's a fire backup. It's Lulu. We got a new Lulu outside of Lightning. She's a 2 CP fire backup, and she says when Lulu enters the field, choose 1 forward. So you have to choose regardless. Then it says you may put 1 backup other than Lulu you control into the break zone, and if you do, deal the forward you chose 7,000.
Yeah, I think this card's good too. Yeah, I mean, like you don't have to do it. You have to choose, which can kind of suck. I guess if like their only 8 forward is like Dottaluma or something like that.
Yeah, or if and that's it says choose a forward. So if you have a forward and they have a forward,
that's true. You could choose your own.
Yeah, you can just choose your own,
and then just not break your backup.
Exactly.
I mean, again, she's a 2 CP backup, so like it can't. I just don't see how those can ever really be like. I mean, they can be bad, but like they're all like I said, they're always pretty borderline playable.
Yeah,
and I think this does enough.
Oh, I agree
to warrant play.
And I think it's really neat, like especially if you're playing like I immediately thought of like Fire Ice using this in conjunction with like Irvine or even. Using that off of a Sid, you bring a Sid Reigns into play, then you play this thing and finish the job.
There's a couple ways to look at it, like reusing fire backups that just sit there, like backup VV, like Black Waltz, like Irvin. Mm-hmm. Like once they're out and they tap for mana a few turns, like maybe you want to play another one.
Yeah, or you can break if you're playing again Fire Ice. You've already searched with Banana Sid. Get rid of him, you get to play another one. So
that too, or like. Maybe you're looking at like Ice Water, where like you get value out of backups that don't break themselves, but they get value when they break.
Yeah, like Larsa Thornton.
Yeah.
So I think she's really neat. I think she,
and then the obvious Ice Lightning because she's fodder for. I mean,
Fire Lightning.
Fire Lightning. Yeah, because she's obvious fodder for H Lulu.
Yeah, and we saw this weekend that Thundaga.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's
I got hit
still
by it
pretty
a couple
good.
times. Yep.
Exactly, and that's good, and that this is a common. I think that is perfect for what you're looking at a common. I think it's absolutely a fine card, and I think this will see some play.
I think it will too. Yeah.
And then they finished it off with they revealed the first legendary of the set, and I think this card is really really good. I think some parts of it are way better than the other, and that is a new Bartz. We have a new legendary Bartz, 3 CP. He is a 7K. Job is Warrior of Light, which is interesting. He is a Category 5, obviously. And he says, when Bartz enters the field, choose up to 2 Category 5 characters and activate them. Not characters you control, which just says 2 Category 5 characters. So if your opponent has them, there could be some... Yeah, there could be some relevance to activating your opponent's characters. And yet the rest of the text is nothing but S's. So he's got 3 S's. The first one is Spellblade. It's just, and they're all just the cost for all of them is just S.
Yep.
So the first one is choose a forward, deal it 5K. Okay. Second one is until the end of the turn, Bartz gains first strike and his power becomes 10,000. I think that's going to be the big one. And then the third one is, until the end of the turn, Bartz gains Haste, Brave, and Bartz can attack 3 times this turn. You may only use this ability if Bartz has cast Spellblade and Dual Wield this turn.
Yeah, so basically you have to have 3 Bartz in your hand in order to use that ability.
Right. Which I think that one now, in Title...
Oh, in Title, this card's insane.
This card is busted in Title.
So, there's a ton of things you could do with it in Title. First off, you're going to run like every Bartz. So... it's pretty likely that you could actually get off all 3 in one turn.
Yeah, that's 12 Bartzes in the deck.
That's 2 Bartzes attacking 3 times. Like, they're going to get big.
Yeah.
Just the first effect is going to be way more relevant in Title. Strongest Sword. Okay, I guess I'll do that twice in one turn. That seems okay, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's something to think about outside of Title, but I doubt it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, the second S is the most relevant, I think. Yeah, because I can just swing with him. I might not even have a Bartz in my hand. It's like a bluff, right? Like I could swing with him, and you might have like some AKs, but like, do you want to risk that I have a Bartz in my hand?
Exactly, because then he becomes a 10K, and then he gets whatever buffs you have out already, because his power becomes that 10K. And also, the other thing too is he is a Warrior of Light. Now I know we had that conversation that typically when Bartz hits the board and you have Warriors of Light out anyway, he becomes a Warrior of Light, but.
Like searching and stuff.
Yeah, this allows like Arya and Sarah Mobius to search him out. And plus,
Light Wool.
Yeah, Light Wool. He can be brought back by that. So I think obviously he fits in good with whatever Warrior of Light shell. I think he makes that archetype better. Mm-hmm. And there's also raised an interesting question. How many other... Like, now, I guess from what I understand, because I haven't played Final Fantasy V in a very, very long time, were the main characters in that referred to Warriors of Light by the end?
Like a couple of times where they say it, and I don't even know if it kept up in every version of the game, like it may have been like a translation thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I know I brought it up in the car on the way. I was like, maybe this means that they're going to start printing Warrior of Light versions of like main characters from like the
like you'll see a Terra, you'll see a Zidane that are Warrior of Light.
I hope they don't do that, though.
Yeah, that could get real loose real quick.
Yeah, the other thing, like I know, like maybe like a Earthwind Warrior of Light build too could be really good with this Bartz, and you play the other Bartz, and you play like Minfilia and Minor, like It gives you access to tons of barks. So.
Yeah, being able to play, because you can just do the S's, right? And you can just do the S's, play Minfilia, get them back, do the third S, and just boom.
Yep, you can do SS, Minfilia, go to combat S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this card is really, really good.
I will say the big thing with that is he's a 3 CP, so like a lot of removal will hit him, and as soon as you cast a third S,
he's dead.
A good player sitting on removal, you're just going to kill him, and then you just wasted your Minfilia and your bards.
Yeah, you have to make sure the coast is clear if you're going to try that, because if you do that, you probably just win the game.
Oh yeah, if they have the removal, he's probably just going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, but if they don't and you're able to do that, you probably just win on the flip side. So Opus 7 is coming in hot, so I expect to maybe see more at the Seattle Crystal Cup, which is next week, which is segue into more news.
Yep.
But I think Opus 7 is looking like these 3 cards, I like them.
Yep.
And with that being said, moving back into the present, LQ season is coming to a close, as we said at the top of this program.
Yeah, there's only a few more left.
Yeah, I think 4?
3.
3 domestically.
Just 3.
That's it? No, just 3?
3. Yep.
And then we got 3 LQs, the Seattle Crystal Cup, and then we have the Crystal Cup that's in the last chance qualifier. The Dark Crystal Cup, exactly. And we played in one yesterday. This was my last shot at winning a qualifier. I didn't make it.
Well, last shot until
winning a local qualifier, I guess. Yeah, this was my last shot. I ended up going 3-2. I was on the bubble for top 8. Yeah. It was a good size. We went up to Gamers Heaven again up in PA.
People.
Yeah, it was 30, 32, something around that ballpark, which was a good size tournament. There was a lot of killers in the room too. I was on the bubble for top 8. Tiebreakers weren't good enough, and it happens. I wasn't upset. I went up to this tournament just to play in it. Yep. I've kind of gotten over I don't think I'm gonna win an LQ. I kind of got over that hump, but and I think I kind of solidified that once I signed up for the Dark Crystal Cup, because I'm going to LA regardless. And I remember when I was doing the Choco Views, the first Choco Views with Cody, which, by the way, he just hit me up to do the part 2 or get pretty much, I guess, redo that one, because it was a very, very rough first episode. So that'll be fun. But we talked about that, and I said I don't care. Regardless, I'm going to nationals. I'm going to be there to hang out, support the community, support, my VA brethren, my returner brethren while we're there. And, I'm going to see if I can top 4 that qualifier, sneak in. I'm trying to make the Cinderella story happen. But, I was on Mono Water Monsters like I've been playing, and the deck was fine. I made a critical mistake against Turbo by not playing backups. I went against everything that I had said and everything that I had trained to do because I got my tunnel vision with Ash. So it was a huge mistake. I punted that one away. And not taking anything away from Steven. I got turboed and he played the deck right, and sometimes that happens. And then my other loss was to Tracy.
Yep.
Yeah, and he was playing Ice Earth, Nidhogg and stuff like that. Very similar to the list that Spencer and Vincent just sent us, but that same kind of shell. And I ended up going to deck out.
Yep.
And I
decked out yesterday too.
Yeah, our deck just kind of hit our game just kind of hit a stalemate, and I just didn't have the cards to finish the game off, so that's all right. It happens. He ended up making top 8. He was actually, turns out that match ended up being a win in.
Yeah,
because whoever won
before, you would have still had to play your next round, but probably the tiebreakers get a lot better.
Yeah,
and
so it's okay. I wasn't upset. I actually had a great time. Big shout out to those guys, and a huge congratulations to Nick Chanel for actually taking it away, qualifying for nationals. Great player. He does very well. His results are always fantastic. He's a real smart player and very deserving of that qualification spot. Yep. So good luck to him and Nats. We'll definitely see him there. And congratulations on the tournament. Adam, how'd you do yesterday?
I missed the cut too. I was a little under 500 at 2-3. I took Mono Earth there, and I had been testing it a lot. It had been performing really well. I still think it performed well, even though I went 2-3. First round was against Wind Lightning. I had never tested that match, actually.
Yeah, it was all over the place up there, which was different.
Well, and I played. They were all different too. So this one was Cypher, and he didn't really give me much trouble at all. I managed to kind of build my backups, killed every Cypher that hit the board. Then I finally started playing forwards. One of them got outsitted, but it didn't really matter because I was able to basically kill his board while he killed my forward. So it kind of evened out. But then I kind of started running out of gas, and then he started playing Adele and Alua, And I was forced to Shantoto, and at that point I was on 5 damage. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was okay, because I was like, okay, I'm on 5 damage, but I have forwards that I can play next turn, and I'll be able to turn the corner. And then he top decks a Stennian. And I had no summon, like, because a lot of my summons were like battle tricks or whatnot.
Yeah, this was against Mike.
Yeah, and I had no way to kill a Stennian without me having a forward on board. Mm-hmm. And so that was lights out. I basically had to hope that I had a Mustadio.
Yeah.
On like the 6 point of damage, which didn't happen. Then after that, I went to play Dan, who I believe is already qualified as well.
I believe Dan is, yes.
He was also on Wind Lightning, but way different.
Yeah, his was, we mentioned Thundaga earlier.
He had Heroic Lulu, he had Paul, he had Al Cid, but I never saw it. Alua's, obviously. I don't remember if there was an Adele in there. I can't remember off the top of my head. But that was actually a really good match. We both almost went to deck out, and I ended up decking out. I did manage to play Scarmaglione when he played a Paul, and it forced him to play a Cyclops, overpay a Cyclops straight from his hand. But if he didn't have that, I think I'd just blow him out at that point.
Oh, yeah.
But he did have it, and that ended up, like, I had to lose my Scar, and I had nothing for that. Then we kind of just kept going, and, like, I ran out of forwards, basically. Yeah. And I had to, like, start popping my backups to do things, like cancel summons and stuff. And he played a Paul. Well, first off, the Zemus caught me off guard. He played, like, a Zemus, like, really late. And I had already played my Race Filgar, and I didn't remove his break zone because I was thinking, like, I needed the character back because we were, like, going late game. And I needed forwards to play. But maybe I should have removed his break zone. And, yeah, I killed the first Zemus, and then the second Zemus came down, and I had nothing for it. So I lost to Paul because Paul came down and then hit me once, and that was enough to
mill you out.
Yeah, pretty much. And then after that, I played the Mono Earth Mirror, and that was really interesting because I got to race Fulgar twice after he had played 2 minors to remove his break zone 2 times.
And that was against Nate, I believe. He's one of their newer players up there. Yeah.
And that was rough. Like I don't see how he would have came back from that, especially like once I got rid of a lot of high threat targets in his break zone. So that was pretty quick. And then after that, I played with another guy who was a big fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember his name or not.
No, I know he was wearing. I played against, I think, like his son or
maybe he was a really nice guy.
Yeah,
and I apologize for not remembering his name, but he was on Fire Lightning.
Yeah, because he was standing outside when we came up to the shop. Yeah.
And he was on Fire Lightning. It was a pretty interesting build, but he didn't get to see a lot of backups, and neither did I. But I was able to pressure him. That was pretty quick. And then last round, I was like, maybe I could get in, but my losses were early. But Dan was doing well.
Yeah.
But last round I had to play Mike Hutzinger.
Yeah.
Again, that was a really close match too. He had got more damage on me, but I was probably going to turn the corner if I could stick my Rydia. And I knew the only card that was going to really screw me was Cloud of Darkness, but he had it.
Yep.
So that ended up kind of when I lost that game. And that was it. Yeah, I went 2 and 3. So, but it was a fun time. All the games were good. All the games were pretty close. I still felt the deck performed pretty well. There's a few things probably I could have done differently.
Yeah, and it was good because I love those guys up there. This was the first time we'd been there. I know they just moved to their new facility, like at the end of the shopping center. Now it's like a lot bigger. Really, really awesome nice setup they got there.
Yeah, there's a lot of space.
Yeah, and I love all those guys. Seeing Gabe get to play for once instead of having to. Yeah, Gabe crushed, man. Seeing Mike, seeing Colin. Shout outs to all those guys, and we got those awesome verse deck tins.
Oh yeah, that was awesome too. Yeah, one of the guys from last time. We talked with him about verses a lot, and he had never played the game, but he had the 10s because he thought they were cool. And I saw him, because I can literally spot those no matter where I go.
Oh, you can hear them. You can hear those things a mile away.
Well, it's just like we used to have them, right? Oh, yeah. So like if I see a 10 or if I see people wearing the T-shirts, like I know exactly what it is.
Oh yeah.
And so when we came out, he told us he had a surprise that he had 2 more of them, and he gave us each one.
Oh man, I could have scooped him up in my arms and given him a passionate kiss for that one.
So
man.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was just such a great time all across the board. Like, and that's one of the things. Like, we go to a tournament like that where the competition's good, the personalities are even better. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better day of cards. Yeah, would I have liked to have made top 8? You know what? It's fine. I would have, but I thought all my matches were great. The only game that I truly made a mistake was in game 1.
Yeah.
So my play was good throughout the day. Like I said, my other loss just came to a literal stalemate.
Yep.
and I never saw my dragons till late.
Happens.
Yeah,
Cards fall like that sometimes.
Yeah, and it's fine. Like, I had a great day. I can't wait to go back to the next one. Actually get to hang out with those guys. It was one of those things that like since we were all out, because I know Curtis didn't do all that well. Steven
we all scrubbed out.
Yeah, like I think Kyle and I were the only ones above 500.
Yeah.
And, Steven was 2-3 as well.
Yeah, probably right then.
Yeah. So then we were like, well, let's just head on back, go get some food. Then we had this really, really nice dinner at a real swanky place.
It was really good.
Yeah. The $40 steak that Steven got looked like it was worth every penny.
Massive.
Oh, dude, it was a slab of animal, but it was really cool, really, really great time. So that was my last LQ. Now I'm looking forward to the Dark Crystal Cup, which we spoke about last week. That'll be the day before Nationals. I'm going to be getting my plane ticket in the next couple days. I've already been given, because I know you and Curtis are flying out the next day.
Yeah, we're flying out the day of the LC.
Okay, yeah. Steven and I are flying out Thursday because Steven's qualified, but he doesn't want to fly alone, so he'll be my flying buddy. And I've actually been, Okimoto offered me a spot to crash. Matt Rice has offered me a spot to crash. So, I thank you guys for letting me stay that one night before you guys get there, because I know we're staying with Curtis's fam. So I'm excited. I'm excited to go, and now I can look forward to testing the decks I want to play out there, because I want to have one for the LQ, and then I want to have one for the Crystal Cup, and then one for Nationals, should I. So, but we'll get to that. The big piece of news is, speaking of Nationals, like that information, like for those who have qualified, you've gotten a lot of the information. All the information is starting to kind of get out in the open now. You got the inside scoop, man. Tell us what it's all
well,
about.
He made it public too.
Well, I know, but tell us what.
But yeah, we got our emails. Basically, it said like congratulations, blah blah, and like they showed the prizing. So I believe everybody that enters gets the mat, which is basically what the Shiva sleeves look like.
Yes.
I like the art.
Yeah, it looks a little more extended. It's got a Nidhogg on it, and
so
really
that's
cool.
Dope. Basically, I think they said like it starts at like 10 a.m. or whatever. I think deck registration starts at 9.
Loose.
I'll be there now. I'll be fine. I'll be awake.
Yeah.
And then. Basically, they broke it down. It's a top 31 cut, which is different from what we're used to.
Yeah.
So the 32nd player, I believe, gets top 32 prizing, but doesn't get to play in day 2. And then whoever finishes first in Swiss doesn't have to play the first round of top 32, so they're automatically a top 16.
Yeah.
And then top 8 goes to Worlds, all expenses paid, which is sick.
Yeah.
Also, I believe if you get top 8, you get a cool Final Fantasy TCG hoodie.
Like a hoodie, almost like the team uniform for representing the U.S. in Worlds.
Which is sick as well. I really want one.
There's gonna be like a duster, or maybe like
a
like
hooded sweatshirt,
or like like a reversible Planet Hollywood jacket.
Although maybe I'll turn mine into a duster. I'll just slap the logo on
do
the back of the
do
leather
it, man.
jacket.
Be like
Probably not.
Walk around looking like Lorenzo Lamas in that thing.
But all the prizing is really dope. I believe top 32 gets a Sephiroth box.
Yeah, the one that's for the Dark Crystal.
As well as anybody that tops in a side event on Sunday. Again, it's still closed to anybody that hasn't qualified, which I do think still kind of sucks. But next year I'm sure it'll be improved, just like this year was improved.
Oh yeah. You look at what you're trading for a larger attendance. I think you're going to get. And I've said this before, as much as I want Nats to be this big, grand affair, I think the tournament is going to be really, really solid. I've said it before, like round 1 to the end, like you're going to be playing against nothing but killers.
No match is going to be easy.
Exactly.
Everybody that's there has basically won a tournament to be there, or got top 4 at a stacked tournament. So
you've proven your chops at this point.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy at all.
Oh, absolutely. So it goes into how are you going to prepare, and that's what we're going to kind of talk about near the end of our cast today. But are you excited, man? Are you excited for especially once you got the
Gen Con
email?
was fun, and I can go too. I'll be fine.
Oh yeah, true.
I don't plan on it, but I think it'll be fun no matter what to hang out with everybody.
Yeah, and
there'll be people there that aren't qualified that I want to hang out with too.
Yeah, my biggest fear, and I said it Because unless Greg Cole and Matt Rice, unless they qualify and we're beforehand, I hope they do.
I
really
want to
hope
say
they
Matt
do.
Rice has one more shot because I want to say one's up near his area.
I hope he nails it because there
I
would
could be
be
wrong
nothing.
though. It might be further away from him than I know.
Nothing would break my heart more. Like I might legit start crying if we're in top 8 of this qualifier. And only top 4 get to go to Nats. I have to play against one of them too in top
suck.
8. I would be so sad.
Yep, that would be terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to do. That would be the only thing that could ruin my weekend. But also, too, like at the same time, if I don't finish it up, oh no, I'm in LA for the weekend. I'm going to have a great time regardless.
Yeah, I do kind of wish that maybe I had planned my flight on Thursday just to have an extra day in LA.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, though. I might still have time. I think I'll still have time to do some stuff. Probably like Saturday night.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's the goal. And that's the thing, man. That's outside of, wanting to be really good competitively at this game, I really think the community alone makes hanging around the game worth it.
Yeah, and then I'm there through Monday, so Sunday night too.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not heading back till Monday either. So
yeah, I'm heading back like Monday midday.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think the only other piece of news is Seattle Crystal Cup.
Yeah, Seattle Crystal Cup is next week, and that's the last Crystal.
Crystal Cup that gives you buys.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's still throwing me
there you
off.
go. I mean, maybe Greg gets his qualifier there.
Oh, dude,
maybe
man.
the other local qualifier, Matt Rice wins. I
Man, I would love for them two to be qualified that way. I don't have to worry about knocking them out or them knocking me out. Like I want us all to be there, and that's the only thing that sucks about the whole this qualifier system. It separates the chaff from the wheat.
And we're all chaff.
No, we're wheat and you're chaff. But it also. It's also you also hate having to knock each other out, right? Like I know,
it's rough. It's a rough system,
but it's rewarding because I think Nats is going to be a quality tournament. Now, I also hope that there's not a lot of breaks between streams. I know this has been something that has come up, and I'm segueing right from the news into a fireside chat. Blankets are on, boys. So, one of the things that's kind of come up is I noticed the Chocobro, shout outs to them again, that they talked about it a little bit on their last podcast.
We've been talking about it every time we stream too. So
the large amount of downtime in the streams, and I get it. It's kind of a newer process for this game.
I mean, there's a couple things, right? So Turbo's a thing now, right?
Yep.
Those matches.
3 minutes and 27 seconds is usually the average for a Turbo Ice match.
Okay, you got it down to a science.
Yeah, Cause I timed it at the first LQ. The LQ I played the deck at.
Okay.
That was every match was 3 minutes 28, 3 minutes 50.
It's fast.
It's super fast.
So, I mean, I know something we do that's been really successful, and it's not like our equipment is that professional.
Yeah.
We have 2 feature matches.
Mm-hmm.
We start on one. If that one ends early, we turn it to the other one.
Yep.
And then we commentate the rest of that. And then we try to have things to do in between rounds.
Yeah, we'll do some pack openings. We'll talk about some news. We'll interview the people that were on stream. I think, the thing is, and this is not a knock at any single person because I'm glad that we just have it.
Yep.
But I think having some things to do instead of having 45-minute breaks between every round, you want to keep your viewers invested. They're tuning in. Maybe they've heard about the card game. They're on the fence, and oh man, here's the United States National Championship. This is a good time to watch what this game looks like competitively. Every time you turn in, you're
on a break.
You're on a break, and it's like, well, shit. Okay, well, we'll be back in 40 minutes. What? Yeah, I think some improvements just could be made to.
I think you need to have. Multiple feature matches is the easiest one.
At minimum 2, and I think
if you have the equipment, and I don't think we're there yet.
Mm-hmm.
To be safe and to have the least amount of breaks, 4 probably.
Yeah, and
but you got to have the equipment for that.
You got to have 4 setups.
Yeah,
4 tables set aside, and I think the baby step is 2. Shoot to get to 4 eventually.
Yeah, I think 2 is fine right now.
Yeah,
especially it's not like our events are massive compared to other.
Oh yeah, so. Yeah, exactly. But having that second event, because you can kind of control what matches go on stream, especially if you have the deck list. If you've got Turbo on a feature match, make sure a non-Turbo is on the other feature match. You know what I mean? You have control as what goes on there. You don't necessarily have to. I like to have the top tables up there
Yep.
But for the sake of timing it, you can have the top table on the main feature match and have anybody you want on the other one.
Yeah, I like to try to shuffle it between people that are like obviously at the top tables
versus like an interesting decks.
Yeah, I mean you can kind of be good about how you pick stuff. I mean you want to keep the players that are doing better on the stream.
Yeah, no, I agree because you want to kind of reward the best for doing the best. Yeah, if that makes sense. But I think that's kind of the next step, and then having player interviews, maybe even showing some replays during the matches of like a previous event, something. Like I'm not asking them to reinvent the wheel, but I think when we're having these big events, and who knows, next year it could all be different.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get ahead of the curve, as it were, by suggesting these things. I know people have been vocal about it. I know RB and those guys have heard. We're not saying anything that hasn't already been said.
Yeah, and it's not like I hate the streams now.
Oh, I love them.
I still tune in.
I tune in the whole time. Yeah. So, but that's cool too. So with that, I think
there was one other piece of news we forgot actually.
Was there?
There was the Australian tournament. Or the New Zealand tournament.
It was a Spirit Cup, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so it was in New Zealand, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It was
Jason Z won.
Yeah, he was playing
Earthwind.
Earthwind, that's right. And Mono Water won the German Nationals. I know I mentioned...
it was Mono Water dudes. Ash did work over there. Every time I turned the stream on, it was always Ash crushing people's dreams.
Yeah, card's good. Turns out.
Yeah, Mono Water is really good, too. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of things that are good. Yeah, the one in New Zealand, I saw a fair amount of Earthwind, saw some Turbo, Mono
some
Ice,
Vice Kings.
And then, like Viking decks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah. So the meta's still wide open, so that gives y'all a lot to work with heading towards U.S. Nationals, that's for sure. It's anybody's game. And also, too, just back to deck diversity, the LQ at Gamers Heaven, man, it was... I never played against the same deck twice. I like that.
I did. Well, the same archetype. It was a different deck.
Oh, yeah. Which I think is really cool. Even though the archetype is the same, the decks can be just tremendously different.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. I think that's cool. So, we talk a lot about tournaments. We talk a lot about quality and, big competitive events. The big thing we want to talk about is, like, that drive. What makes somebody want to play a game competitively and what keeps you wanting to play competitively, especially when, like, we kind of live in a time where you can't... I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. You're building a scene for a game that's still relatively young. You can't expect everybody who picks it up to be as competitive as you are.
There's no game that exists where everybody that wants to play the game in your area is going to want to have the same level of that.
What... Trying to think of the way to kind of correlate it all together. Like you and I play this game competitively. We're here because we want to be the best that we can be. And I'm gonna mention I don't want to jump around a little bit, but I'm gonna mention an article that I shared with you guys earlier this week. Like we want to be do our best to be the best at this game competitively, but we also want to those that want to be competitive, but they're kind of on the fence, like we want to help them achieve that level. But at the same time, we can't alienate those that want to not be and we've talked about this before on the Turks podcast about kind of nurturing both of those communities. But sometimes doing that, you can lose focus on what it is that you want for yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like the article I shared was actually on TCG Player. It was by Brian Brown doing about the pressure to remain relevant. So I highly recommend checking that out. And it really hit close to home because, I'd been struggling. I've been doing well at these LQs, but not getting over the top. And it's like, man, I have that expectation of myself that not only as a content creator, but someone who's a visible personality in the game, that I feel like I should be doing better than I am. Like the pressure, and maybe that pressure just comes from myself because, we talk about this stuff. People listen to this stuff. They submit decks to us. They want our opinion on things.
I think a lot of the pressure is like self-harm pressure, I guess. I don't really know a better way to put it.
Well, we put the pressure on ourselves because, like, we want to make sure that, we don't want to be, like, if people are looking to us for advice.
Self-inflicted pressure, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's like people ask us our opinion on things. We don't want us to be a bunch of busters, you know what I mean? Like, Like, why ask us for something when we can't win?
True.
But we clearly we do. But, like, what... And I guess I bring it all back around to this. Like, you have all that going on. Like, what is it that gives you that drive to stay competitive in a game where there really isn't much of a payout per se? Like you cannot turn Final Fantasy TCG into a career.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's not. For me, the win is not about money. I'm not trying to make it my job. Mm-hmm. I don't need a sponsor.
Yeah.
Like, I do it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Winning for me is like a prideful thing.
Yeah.
And then when I lose, I try to take it the best as possible. Am I like slightly upset when I lose?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'm usually the type of person. The first person I blame is myself.
Oh, all day long. All day long.
And I'm not saying that to like get people to pity me or anything like that. It's more about like that's how I get better.
Yeah.
It's for me to be like, okay, where did I mess up? And I've said this a lot on here, I think. And like, what can I do better? Mm-hmm. I'm a hyper-competitive person by nature. Like, even ever since I can remember, honestly, even as a kid. And I was probably a little bit more angrier as a kid. Mm-hmm. But I was still, like, really competitive. No matter what I was playing. I could be playing, like, fucking Pogs or, like, Tiddlywinks.
Oh, like, man, Jacks, baby.
Like, you know, I mean, I didn't play those games, but I'm just, you know what I'm trying to say.
If you were playing those games, you would be competitive.
Yeah, I try to take everything seriously, and I know, like, that used to get to my brother sometimes when we were kids.
Sure.
Because, like, you know, sometimes he just wanted to have fun, and even now. But I think he understands now that that's just the type of person I am. Like, if we played a game, we'd play the first time, blind. Mm-hmm. And it would be like a versus game, right? And we'd go back and forth, you know. After that day, you best bet, like, I'm going to find every resource that I can to figure out how to get better at that game so that he doesn't beat me.
Oh, yeah.
And that used to make him mad. Mm-hmm. And I used to get mad when I lost. Mm-hmm. And I take it better now. But once I played fighting games, throw all that shit out the window. Now I can't play a game the same.
Yeah.
Every game I play, I always look at it from a competitive aspect. Mm-hmm. And it's hard for me to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to play and not care and have fun. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with people that do that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying it's hard for me to do that.
Right.
And this is a card game that I like. I think it's balanced. Mm-hmm. There are cards that are broken, but, you know, that's fine. I love the IP, so I want to be good at it. Yeah.
And that's... You kind of summed it up there when you're just talking about, like, what it means to yourself. Like for me... I'm trying to think of the right way to word this, try to get my thoughts together and make them, you know, flow a little bit better. But I am a competitive person. I do get mad when I lose, but 99% of the time, I can point that finger right at myself and say, like a perfect example was yesterday. I was like, I lost because I didn't play backups like I was supposed to, and like I knew I knew better than that. So I was a little mad at myself, but I got over it, kept going. But I think sometimes I get so fickle that like I have days where I just lose that drive.
Yeah.
Where it's like, man, why? I question myself. I'm like, why am I doing this?
Yeah. I will say about me, when I start to lose drive in things, it's when I get bored. Mm-hmm. And I'm not close to.
Oh no, I'm 100%.
And that's not the case. Yeah, that's not the case for everybody. Not everybody has the drive that way. But for me, with Street Fighter, for example, I got bored.
Yeah.
And
I did too. That's why I stopped playing.
The games that I loved, I didn't love as much because I found them boring, so I stopped. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like this game, I'm not even close to slowing down. And I think, and what's crazy is every time I get that drive, and I think that third LQ, that was like the tipping point for me. Like, and you guys saw it. Like, I like tilted. I tilted after I lost.
I don't blame you for being mad a little bit. Like, I would have been mad too. Mm-hmm. But like, I think you've gotten to the point now where you understand that like, this shit, it doesn't define who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to win because like it makes you feel good when you win. Like,
Wade Boggs said it best. Nothing feels better than winning.
It's a pride thing. Yeah. But like, don't let it damage your pride, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, because it did. It did. Now, I almost quit. Like, I almost quit the game after that because I was over it. But then like later that afternoon, I was like, wait a minute. This doesn't define who I am. I'm just going to keep getting better. Like, the competitive side of me wants to take, like, all these shortfalls and then just keep getting better and better. And I've got people in my corner who are just going to be like, hey, you can do this. You can do this. Keep trying this. Keep trying. Hey, let's test this. Let's do that. And I think it was just such a blow to. I don't have an ego. I want to get that out there. I am super humble in defeat.
Yeah,
except for that one time, I was pissed.
Yeah, but I even think that it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like you were like screaming at Jason or something.
Yeah, and I wasn't mad at Jason. I was mad at the situation.
Yeah, like I think you put this expectation on yourself that you had to win.
I did. I 100% did.
And I think that affected you more. Like for me, when I went in, also even if I hadn't won the qualifier that I won, and I still don't have it now, like, if that was hypothetical, I'd still be going and I'd still be trying to win as much as I can. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like I have to win.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And I think that's what happened. I got to a point where I felt like I had to win, and now I've kind of set it back to where I want to win. Like I enjoy playing.
And I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, like
when you feel like you have to win, then it's a job.
Yeah, and
jobs suck.
Yeah, and you're telling me, man, I do one 5 days a week and I can't stand it. No, I lie. I love my job.
I like my job to an extent too, but it lets me do things that I have fun doing.
Like because I have a job that I have, I can do this. I just hate working. I just want to find a way to make money and not have to work.
Yeah, me too. Let me know if you figure that out.
Oh man, it's the holy grail, as it were. But like I think everybody who's going to nationals, who goes to a major tournament, like they need to. I think they should look at themselves once and just say, what is it that makes you play this game competitively? What is it that makes you want to be competitive at this game?
Yeah, and there's no wrong answer.
There isn't. Like, do what works for you. Because I think having the drive to do something, because like this is my hobby. This is my favorite hobby. I have not, and I've told Adam, I have not had this much fun doing things on weekends since we played Versus.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I enjoyed
that's probably not true for me because I did like there's a lot of fighting game stuff.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit there. There were a few fighting game tournaments that we traveled to where it was just an absolute blast of a weekend. But like now, like this is reminding me a lot of when we would travel for Versus and we would crash at people's houses. We would drink till wee hours of the morning, playing games till the wee hours of the morning. We'd wake up, we tested this deck all night, then we'd play something completely different the next day and end up crushing the tournament with like I like the stories that go along with the competitive play, and I'm kind. That's why I keep saying the Cinderella story when it comes to this the Crystal Cup and Nats. Like there's nothing more fun than creating these stories out of this competitive environment. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, too, like if you love Final Fantasy but you have no desire to play outside of your locals, man, just do that. Just do that.
There's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with any
level of play.
Yeah, exactly. We have all levels of play at our local.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to, some people are going to get mad when they play Turbo and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
But if you, just make them understand, I guess, that why this deck's winning. Right?
Yeah.
And, maybe you want to play a pet deck and you're having trouble with that, then just, run straight up counters to it.
Yeah.
And sadly, there's not too much.
Yeah, because this game is very, very balanced. Like, even with a boogeyman like Turbo, it's not winning everything.
It's not, because it's too polarizing.
Yeah, and there's no... that's the thing I like. For those who complain about, decks in this game, pull up, some Magic results, and maybe, I don't really pay attention to any other card game, but maybe the same thing happens in stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! And DBZ Super, maybe even Pokemon. Like you'll look at competitive event results, and you'll look at the meta, and 30-40% of the field is one deck.
Yeah, Hearthstone's kind of like that too.
Yeah,
the only thing that excuse Hearthstone is you have to bring 3 decks to every tournament, or something 4 usually.
Yeah, whereas something like this, I look at every top 8. Oh man, you might see some usual suspects in there, but it might be number 1 over here, might be number 6 over here, might not even make the cut over there. You know what I mean? That's one of the best things about this game. That's what makes being competitive at it so fun, because every single person who's building decks is on the cusp of building that next big one.
Yep. Yeah, it's wide open.
Yeah, and that's a huge segue. I just love the natural segues that happen on this podcast. It's insane because the last thing we want to talk about is preparing. Like this is it. Like you're going to the show, man. This is the last stretch. This is everything we've worked towards since ARG Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to a head. Like now the time you've spent, the tournaments, the deck building, the grinding, the traveling, you're here.
Yep.
I'm one step behind you, but we're here. We're going.
You can still get in there.
Absolutely, and we're going cross country. So now it's time to build the best deck possible. And I know we're working on stuff right now. I've been given new life with Fire Ice thanks to my mentor across the pond, JFB. I appreciate the chit chatting we've been doing lately. Thank you so much. So I've been reinvigorated with Old Reliable. So I've got some builds I'm going to be testing. I got some really neat stuff that I want to do. But I've also got some other things I want to try for,
right,
LA, because I've got a list. I have a legit list of decks I want to build and test. So I'm going to be hitting the grind really hard, like really really hard. And I know you're preparing.
Yeah, I've been preparing. Yeah.
We're not, and every tournament you've gone to, like you said, Mono Earth was something you were testing as well, and
yeah, it's been performing pretty well.
There's
I don't know. I'm still up in the air, so what I'm going to play. I've been testing a lot of things, so
yeah, and that's the thing too. Like we don't want to go crazy talking about the stuff we're testing because we can't give away everything on the podcast. We got to play some cards close to the chest, but. It's going to be a process, like we've said before. Like this is it. Like this is the show. Like this is, if you top 8 here, you get to represent the United States in this game. I know that makes it sound a lot more grand than it actually. I mean, it's a card game, but you're representing your nation.
To me, that's a big deal.
It's huge. It's a huge deal.
If I get top 8, just being able to say that I represented my country in anything is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it could have been Taylor Wings. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, hell, man. not even just your country. Like, I mean, there's not. Is there a Canadian nationals? Is there
it's technically
North America.
It's technically North America.
Yeah, so like you're representing the continent. You're like the ultimate warrior, holding the belt for 8 months.
Yeah, no, it'll be really cool. I'm gonna try really hard.
Yeah, man. Like I'm excited. Like I actually, when we came over to do the podcast today, like I've been on my computer all day and like just I like working on lists and stuff, like variants of lists.
I've been doing that like every day. Me and Curtis talk like every day.
Yeah, I've been just really like talking to you guys as well. In various group chats that I'm in, just saying what about this, like and that's what's really cool. Like the support system that each other has, like every community has it.
The cool thing, at least for me, from my mindset for Nets, is there's no result where I'll be unhappy.
Yeah, and that's huge. Because at the very worst, I
could go 0-7.
Yeah.
And I'll still walk out there fine. I mean, will I be a little disappointed? Yeah, but like...
Well, because at the very worst, we get to hang out with all these really cool people in LA for the weekend.
And I don't think I'll go 0-7. But...
No, I don't... Somebody has to, though, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly. Think about it, like, you look at stuff like other Pro Tours, like the Capcom Cup or whatever, like, somebody's got to go 0-2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunate, because it's going to happen, and that's the thing, like, you bust your ass all year long, and then you get to the show, and something...
I said, I won't even really be mad. For me, making it to the show was what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Like, that was my goal all year.
Yeah.
Was just to get there.
Yep.
And I'm there, or I'm going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a goal. My goal is top 32 or top 31.
Yeah.
Like that's my first goal. I'd love to be top 8. Like I'm gonna try really hard. That I mean, that's obviously like where I want to be. Mm-hmm. But my actual goal is like I'd be super happy if I got top 31.
Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, it's not like it was last year where it's like
no.
Yeah, there's no like
day 1 is 7 rounds of Swiss, top 31 cut. Day 2 is top 31.
And it's all 2 out of 3, correct?
Everything in top 31, I believe, is single limb 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's weird saying top 31.
It is weird. It's a weird number.
Yeah.
I get why they try to do it. They're trying to benefit from doing well.
Oh, yeah, which I think those who, the best player in the room should on the first day should be rewarded.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. I think it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
The most intense matches, I think, are going to be the top 16 matches.
Oh, I agree.
Those have the most weight to them.
Yep.
Anybody that makes top 16, that once they get to that 2 out of 3, it's going to be really stressful.
Oh, yeah.
Because literally you're playing, everybody is playing for like a $3,000 prize at that point.
Yeah, because it's all expenses paid.
All expenses paid.
If that doesn't want to make you play competitively, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I mean, it's easily the dopest prize, I think, that they've done. So
yeah, and it's weird. Like, you kind of touching bases on, preparation, playing competitively. I actually one of the best things I heard when I read Hunter Nance say when they were like, somebody was talking to him about like what's the prize support like for that game, and Hunter pretty much said, I work 5 days a week for prize support.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying too. Yeah, like I like my job not because my job is like the most fun thing ever. I like my job because it allows me to do things outside of work
like this
that I have fun doing.
Yeah. And that's the same. Like I can't get enough of this game. I can't get enough of this community.
Yeah, I wish I had more time.
Oh, dude, you're telling me the competitive side of it has been just.
It's gonna be harder once more people start ramping up and putting more time too.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's we talked about that on the way home yesterday. Not to sound like we're still rambling here, but I think this is all relevant information and stuff that people probably talk about this stuff too. We just record it while we're doing it. That's the only thing we do different, boys and girls. We just record it. But there's just like the game's getting bigger, and more people are going to be getting better. Like, I think we see new people coming onto the pages every day. Like, we get new people playing in our scene constantly, whether they stick around or not. I don't know, because like there's inconsistencies with some people. I get it. People are busy. People have lives.
Yep.
But all it takes is just like that one time where you do well at a tournament and then you're hooked and then you keep getting better. Then you get a friend into it. Who knows? That friend could end up being the best damn player in the world.
Yep.
And I think that's going to happen. Like, this Nats is going to be a monster. Man, I can't wait to see what next competitive season looks like. I think it's going to be bigger. It's going to be meaner. It's going to be tougher.
I don't know if it's going to be tougher to get in.
Yeah. I think the competition is going to be tougher across the board. Yeah, yes, I think the qualifying.
I think they might lax it back a little.
It's going to be a little bit different
because it's brutal. Yeah, it is brutal.
Mm-hmm. It's either if you're not first, you're last.
It's hard to find the medium.
It is because you want to separate the chaff from the wheat.
Yeah. So I don't. There could be better, but like I don't hate how they did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either.
Look at like all the tournaments we went to because they did it.
Yeah. And the thing is,
wouldn't have gone to half those.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because it's tough. Because I know we got burned at first when we first started playing the game. It's like, hey, come up here to a tournament. Oh, we're the only ones here.
Yeah.
Though I don't think that'll happen anymore. I think the game is big enough now that if somewhere close by says, hey, we're doing a win-a-box on Friday, I guarantee at least 10 people will show up.
Yep.
So, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and end with we've started a new segment on our in our rotation here. We're doing video. We've been doing card of the week, which we're now changing to card spotlight.
Yep. So
what we're going to start doing is building a deck around that card that we spotlight. I know we did. Check out, if you haven't seen it yet, check out the video. We're featuring the starter Knoll. Kind of like a reanimator style deck, which it looks really cool. I kind of want to
play it too.
I kind of want to throw it on Octagon and just see what it's all about. I might play that at a local. So I guess what I'm saying is anybody who's listening, and we'll post this at another spot too. That's up to you, big dog. You post it wherever. If anybody has a card they want us to spotlight and build around,
yeah, they can send it to us.
Yeah, go ahead and send it to us, and be on the lookout here. I'm kind of giving everybody a little foreshadowing what we're going to be doing starting on the next podcast. The game is constantly changing, and opinions on cards are changing, especially as more cards are added to the pool. We're going to go back, starting with Opus 1, and we're going to do this over the course over the next 6 podcasts. We're going to go back to each set individually and kind of re-review the cards. See what cards are still amazing now, what cards have gotten worse, what cards have gotten better.
Maybe cards that are being slept on too.
Cards that are being slept on, because as more cards enter the pool, they have better synergies with older cards. Like a perfect example. I mean, all these Vikings now are all of a sudden
everywhere.
Much better cards now because they printed this little 4-drop 3K called Layla. So I think having something like that, and we almost want to kind of use that as not just a re-review, but a guide for newer players as well. Like, hey, look, if you don't like, and also to, having access to some of these older cards, like a lot of these bulk cards that people just lose in the shuffle. I think it'll be neat to go back and kind of talk about these a little bit. But
some of those still suck. But
there's a lot of them that are still really, really bad. Yeah. But I think some have gotten better just from the creation of newer cards.
Yeah,
and obviously, I think the spoilers will be coming in hot and heavy. So this is going to be an exciting like couple months coming up because we got the road to Nats, as it were.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm ready for Nats to be here, and then kind of hang out with everybody, do that, have tons of fun. Because after that, I feel like we're gonna be able to ramp up all our stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. After the season, during that lull between that Worlds and then the next season, we're gonna be really ramping up the content. So for those who are listening and those who are starting to listen, get ready, man. We're all gonna be doing more videos, more contents, more streaming.
Yeah. Definitely more streaming. I think that's the big one.
Yeah. And speaking of streaming, I know there's something we might be trying to do.
That's not official yet.
It's not official, so we'll keep that close to the chest then. But there's a lot. We definitely want to put the brand out there a little bit more. And speaking of brands, T-shirts. We appreciate everybody who has bought our returners T-shirts. I don't know what our exact number today is.
Adam knows. But yeah, it's. I think it's a decent amount. I don't know.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone that's bought one. And if you haven't bought one yet, check out Teespring. RVA, Windmill, Slam, Blitz, There's so many names in this thing.
If you watch the newest video, I started linking them in the YouTube videos, so it's there.
Yeah, we'll probably link it on this one as well.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're going to kind of go ahead and wrap this up. We just want to talk about, competitive play, Nats coming around the corner, just the LQ season coming. It's been fun. This has been a fun ride, and I think it's just beginning.
Yep, I agree.
So, thanks again, everyone. We're going to sign off from there. Hey everybody, thanks for listening once again to the RVA Returners podcast. If you like this content and you want to hear more, check us out on YouTube at RVA Returners, and make sure you follow us on SoundCloud and check us out on Google Play and iTunes.